Well, howdy, how y'all doing today? Y'all ever went down to one of them employment service things, you know, where they find you a job? Listen to some of the conversations in there. I was at one this morning, and there was two fellers drove up in this old beat-up pickup truck, and they walked on up in the door, and I followed them on in there because, I'm kind of curious as to what kind of job these fellers wanted. Well, they had a little seat, and one of them name got called up. He walked up there and he sat down, and the lady looked at him and said, "Well, sir, I understand you're looking for a job." He said, "Yes, ma'am, I am." I said, "What kind of job you looking for? What's your profession? What do you do?" He said, "Well, I'm a diesel fitter." She looked at him kind of funny. She said, "A diesel fitter?" "Yes, ma'am, that's what I've been called for the past 20 years as a diesel fitter." She said, "Well, let's see what it says in the computer, whether we can find you a job as a diesel fitter." So she punched her little numbers and all in there, She comes up, she says, "Well, you know what? There is an opening. It starts out at $25 an hour. And after you prove yourself that you can do the job, after 90 days, you'll get a raise. Would that be acceptable?" He said, "Oh, yeah. $25 an hour? Yeah. Just give me the address." Well, she gave him the address and all that kind of stuff, and he got up and walked back over and sat down next to his brother. And I'm sitting there just listening. "Oh, I want to hear this." His brother said, "They couldn't find you nothing, could they?" And, "No, I got me a job at $25 an hour. I'll start tomorrow morning." He said, "25? Are you serious? $25 an hour?" "Yeah." "Doing what?" "Same thing I've been doing, diesel fitter." "Man, I got to talk to this woman." So he gets up and he says, "Ma'am, that's my brother over there." Said, we're riding together. Is there any way I can go ahead and see you now?" And all. She said, "Yeah, go ahead, sit down." She said, "Are you looking for a permanent job?" And he said, "Yes, ma'am." He said, "Well, what's your profession? What do you do?" And he says, "Well, for the past 10, 15 years now, I've been hand stitching the crotches into pantyhose." She looked at him kind of like, she said, "You did what?" He said, I do them fancy pantyhose, in the crotch area. I do hand stitching. I stitch them in there like that." She said, "Oh, well, let me see if I can find you a job doing something similar." So she looks in the computer. She hits all in numbers. Comes up one. She said, "Well, I found you a job as a seamster or seamstress, whichever is correct." She said, "It starts off at $10 an hour." He said, $10 an hour? She said, "Well, yeah, that's what the job pays." He said, "Well, that don't rightly sound fair to me." I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Ma'am, I'll spend a good hour and a half hand stitching the crotches in them pantyhose and make it perfect. And then once I get it all done and no threads are showing or anything like that, I take them and I put them over in a box on the table. And my brother over there, he picks them up out the box, stretches them overhead, and hollers, 'Diesel fitter.' And you telling me he getting $25 an hour for that?"